say
top Billin. Right here, this is my favorite play from him. Right, they set him up absolutely perfectly. This was scheme to perfection, scheme to death. Now you see right here, you're gonna get that shallow cross, and you're gonna get an over route right here by Ayuk. Play to perfection. Man principles within zone confinement, I should say. So you'll see he'll be working right here. He will follow inside, but he's not going to leave his post. So you'll get that there. But watch what this man does. This is incredible. Straight football intelligence, even being looked off, and then Jaka got that bad boy with eyes in the back of his head. Brock Purdy on the pull, throws that bad boy and Jaka with his back of his hand. Dude, this was incredible. He's going over, right? He recognizes this because it's still zone coverage, right? So you'll pass that off right there at the very least. Yeah, if he were to dump that down, hey, you got some people there who should be able to combat that or corral your man going across there. But you don't want to vacate this portion because there's nobody there. If he were to go all the way across like they wanted him to, he would have vacated that portion. He turns and locates, has an innate feel for where the ball could be, and gets it with his fingertips. My God, what a play. This kid is incredible with his zone awareness right there. What are we doing here? Now look at this drawing right here. This was clean. In man coverage, when it has to do with the quick game, I believe more times than not, he's going to be able to compete with the best of them. Look at this right here. Correct arm to the correct part of the shoulder pad. Broke that up. One more time. Look at him react with that. That's nasty right there. Use the correct arm and breaking up the ball and everything. Check this out. You can see the receiver setting the table right here. He's got good foot energy on this one, right? Not too far over his skis or anything. His football intelligence within the quick game I saw definitely improve if we're talking about man coverage. Just quick game. I'm only talking about the quick game. I'm breaking this all the way down, so, you know what I mean? Bear with me here. But as we see right here, it's not really what I would call a press man situation. He fell off the cliff to begin with, as you see right here. Check this out. It's not like he stood his ground and then pressed him. You can see his feet clearly falling off the cliff. But then, of course, I tell people all the time, a jam situation these days is a range finder. You just want to get yourself in range. You're not trying to impede anybody's progress or anything like that. You're getting yourself in range, and then you see right here he's able to do just that, able to locate the ball, use the correct hand, break that bad boy up. Incredible technique. And, of course, you know he's going to let you hear about it. He'll let you hear about it no matter what. I might have to get to that, too. Now, here's where I start looking at the entire situation a little sideways. He's in man coverage on Tutu Atwell here. Look who's on the field. So we see this right here. He's in man coverage. You end up being the outside receiver. You have Trey Brown on the field, and you have up top here going against Puka Nacua, perhaps a top 10 receiver in the NFL. The dude is the absolute truth. Luckily for the Seattle Seahawks, they have Tariq Woolen, who I believe is the best corner on the team. That is my personal opinion right there, especially if we're talking about man coverage and matching up with the best of the best here. Oftentimes, Witherspoon does not have to match up with the best. Tariq Woolen may take L's, but he's taking L's to some of the best in the game. So you have to look at it on that type of curve there. But you see him here going against Tutu Atwell, and he gets the ability to play man and didn't absolutely shut that one down. Ran the route for Tutu. He has inside leverage, right? Just the fact that he has inside leverage right here, your man Jimmy G shouldn't have thrown this. He should have mission aborted this bad boy right here. Even Tutu sees this, and he's like, oh, shit. He's not even really running the route. He rounds that bad boy off kind of, and then you see Witherspoon right here take it away. Maybe you can say Jimmy G threw that away right there because he kind of threw it in the no man's land. And, yeah, Witherspoon took that shit away right there. But I would love to see that man have to match up with the best of the best. Be a public defender. You drafted top 5. I like to see my top 5 cats either shut down the outside or be a public defender and travel with the best player available, like a public defending lawyer. The further the ball goes down the field, the more I think Devon Witherspoon becomes average. Now, we see him going against DeMarcus Robinson here, pretty much an average player in the NFL. Does have a little bit of speed on him, but we see right here, it looked like mission aborted right there. Yeah, this is, I don't know, this is some this is kind of suspect technique to me. First, he shot the 2-hand jam here. Before, he was doing good with the one shooting that jab to the outside shoulder or whichever the correct shoulder is there. But you see him 2-hand jamming. Think he's going to impede some progress right there. Doesn't really allow him to stay in phase to me because he shot the 2 hands in there. Then he's trying to play the ball on the way through the man. So DeMarcus Robinson does a good job here of showing late hands. And they do a perfect pass where he can just jump up and get it. And you see right here, giving up an explosive play there, or a semi-explosive play. See right there, the technique here. This and allowing the space, didn't really get into the space that he would want to. And at the moment of truth scenario, yeah, we see what happens right there. On a plus split working against Jawan Jennings, I would say Jawan Jennings probably an above average receiver. You see him here pretty much on a deep curl, right? He'll work back towards the ball. It feels like at the apex, Witherspoon panics a lot. Or once again, you can see Jawan Jennings set the table perfectly. What happened at the beginning of this route? Look at this. Once again, tries to shoot a 2-hand jam, and this time completely whiffs. So he's already out of sorts right here having to play catch-up. So I think he's wondering about that there. And Jawan bogs it down and then is able to work back towards the ball here, completely shielding him off. Right? Too easy. Too easy for a player drafted that high going against somebody you would consider an above average player. But set the table. My man wasn't good for the snap warfare there. And then gives up once again another semi-explosive play. This is why it's tough to be a box score scout. When you look at pass deflections when it deals with Devon Witherspoon, a lot of them are like this. Look at this. Right, packs it down at the line of scrimmage, right, deflects that bad boy Mutombo style at the line of scrimmage. Now, he's an unblocked defender going against a quarterback who's trying to obviously work that power play action game right there, shoot it to the out, where obviously if Witherspoon doesn't get here, though, that's airspace and opportunity right there. So that's a pretty suspect defense right there. But he does get there, and he gets did he get the arm? It looks like he gets the arm. Of course, forces the pass to be incomplete there. So I don't know how to judge it like that. I honestly think anybody can do that, right? Be sent as an unblocked defender and bat down a pass. So I don't put much stock in and stuff like that. That's a scheme thing, right? So that was schemed to death there. But you can't compare that to guarding someone, a high-level elite receiver, and being able to stat that way and deflect passes or intercept the ball. Off-man coverage going against rookie Ricky Pearsall right here. Once again, if he's has a ton of spacing and he's able to work moving forward, look at him come out that pedal right there and recognize. Look at this. Chaka. Deflects that bad boy. He's tough when it comes to shit like this. Able to get in his pedal, be able to look at both the receiver and the quarterback. You're going to be doing that with your peripheral vision. And then he's able to recognize the route. Splits the difference there, plants that foot in the ground, runs the route with Pearsall. Nasty. In my opinion, this is what he does best. If you can put him around the line of scrimmage and just let him be a football player, I kind of understand what your man Coach Carroll was talking about back in the day when he said that Witherspoon reminded him of Troy Polamalu. At the time, I was like, that's goofy, right? You're going to compare a strong safety to a corner. Well, as we know, he doesn't play exclusively on the outside. Gets to moonlight on the inside. Gets to do stuff that you would see Troy Polamalu do, attacking the line of scrimmage. Look at this. Bang! Right there, right? He's not the biggest of cats out there, right? Hey, yo, pause. But, he brings the thunder when he does come. At least he tries, right? He's on a kill or be killed mission, right? Sometimes he gets killed on that mission. But a lot of the times he does the killing as well. He's definitely an asset to have around the line of scrimmage. In fact, and I maintained this when I was able to see this guy's skill set in the NFL, I think he would be an all-pro safety. An all-pro safety as a cornerback, slot corner and all that, right? He made a couple of Pro Bowls and all that, right? All that jazz there. But I think he would be an all-pro safety. He has that type of skill set, and I believe he'll have that type of range as well. sometimes on this immediate outside coverage here, he'll get a little bit too far inside, especially against a route runner like Adam Thielen. Look at that right there. That's too easy. Oh, Thielen took the Lockett way out. We'll look at that after that right there. But you see Thielen pressing it upfield here. If you're working in that type of outside coverage, you'd want to be on the outside of the man, right? Or outside leverage. You've been on the outside of the man. Then you can work back to the inside there. But if you're already on the outside and this route stops or moves further towards the outside, yeah, you're at a disadvantage right there. So nice timely throw. And Thielen's able to actually shake the tackle, but then he sees the cavalry coming right there, and he wants no parts of that. He locketed himself, right? Locketed himself. That's hard. Now, here's what I mean by him making you think that he did something by his post-play antics, right? He'll get you hyped up, and you will actually think he made the play. This is a prime example of that. Going against Tutu Atwell with Jimmy G right here on the pull. Play action fake right here. Yaka, right? Looks like he broke up the pass, right? Well, he would definitely look like it when you do that after the play, right? But if you really look right here, Tutu Atwell actually has him beat. The ball's kind of poorly thrown. Your man Ernest Jones right here kind of forced him to not be able to step into this. But Tutu Atwell just definitely come up with this. The ball's in his hands, right? You see right here, Witherspoon's hand is nowhere near the ball, right? It just goes through Atwell's hands there. And, yeah, if you, to the naked eye right here, you see a dude do that, and you see a deflection or what looks like it'd be a deflection, and he starts celebrating like this, right? You be like, damn, he really held dude up, right? He locked him up, right? He quarantined him and shit like that. But when the actuality is, no, he didn't actually do that, though. But, I mean, you see it gets players on the team hyped and everything. So, like I said before, you can't knock the hustle, right? In his second year under Coach Macdonald, I expect him to take another step forward. I expect this man to play like a top 10 draft pick if he has that in him. If he doesn't have that in him, I think he'll be this type of player the rest of his career where you'll be like, oh, yeah, he's a pretty good player, but you won't think he's anything like a Sauce Gardner or some of these guys that we've seen come in, Stingley and all these guys getting those contracts. He'll get his contract. Don't get me wrong on that there, but I just think there's a discernible difference between those guys. Maybe it's just the role I can't see past, playing on the inside against guys that most people never heard of, you know what I mean, versus Sauce Gardner being a public defender sometimes, just grabbing the other team's best receiver and following him around. So, but regardless of that, the role, he does have a pretty good role on a team that I think will have a top 10, if not top 5 defense. So we shall see how that plays out. But let me know what you think that he can work on. This is for the educated fan, right? Who wants to talk ball like right. You know what I'm saying? If you're a fanboy and you dick eat Devon Witherspoon and all that shit like that, please don't chime in. I'm not doing that no more, right? I just want to talk to the real football heads, even if it's only 500 of y'all. You know what I mean? I'd rather go that route at this particular point in time in my career. So let me know what you think. And as always, much love to all my villains out there. All my top billing villains, much love. Patreon.com/topbilling. That's where you will find full unedited videos. And it starts in earnest when the season starts. Obviously with the preseason and all that, we'll be getting it in though. So we're going to start going back hard again. No thitty and pause for all you people into that. And we shall do it like that. All right. Big salute.
What more can I say?
Top billing.